Alright guys, how are you all? Hopefully this is live. I haven't actually done it this way before, but it's saying it's live, as you can see here. Here, transition. So it's saying we're live and apparently somebody's watching, so yeah. Anyway, basically what I'm going to run through today is, what I'm trying to do is basically figure out what's going on here and get SSL to just work on IIS with the ACME implementation of LetsEncrypt. So I was looking, and apparently we can do it with this, which will allow you to do it on your local IIS server, but not sure. I might try here too, but basically we're just going to give it a go and see how it goes and figure it out, because I haven't done this before. So I'm thinking that I will want to download this and then go and see the manual. Let's just see what happens. Extract all. We'll see what's inside this zip file. So I've just got this server spun up on Azure. See what happens if I run that. Let's see if I go N. No sites with host bindings. No sites with host bindings have been included. Alright, so let's try and make a site in IIS. Server may be a bit slow because it's only got one core, one CPU core. Internet Information Services. So let's go bindings, add. So I don't even know what that is. Apparently that's some sort of certificate. Let's just whack that on there and see what happens. Let's try again. So N. Alright, here we go. Default website. I want one. So list the above bindings. Alright, all. Yes. So we can see the terms of service apparently. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, there we go. We can read the terms of service if that's what we want to do. I don't. So let's, oh, you could have opened by saying yes as well. So N. Oh. Enter email. I'm going to just hide this here. Oh, actually, we'll just go is jken.com. So now this, in theory, should just do a HTTP validation, because we're actually running this on the server that it is running on. So IIS is running on this server. I have test at here's Jaken pointing to this. So I think that's worked. Has it? That's worked. That's really simple. Let's go. Wow. That was a lot simpler than I thought it was going to be. There was nothing to it. So now I wonder what I do. Let's go A for manage renewals. So I'm assuming I could just make a script to run this every day and check it. CD. Well, that's pretty cool. So let's check out what the script looks like. This looks heaps better than the DNS one. I've only done DNS updating with an external DNS, but if we can just do this on the web server, it's simple as. So if we go here, server certificates, so issued by R3. So let's go back to here. Renewal management. Automatic renewal. This is what we want. Here we go. Here I am looking at renewal. We want to be checking out automatic renewal. So let's see. If I check out this folder. If we go view hidden, and we want to see file, probably don't need that. I'm guessing that's base URI there, log. What's in here? So that looks like what we need to run. That looks pretty straightforward. Adding a task scheduler entry. So has this already added it in? Let's see. So apparently, let's see if there's one here for it. Check this out. Check renewal of certificate. My gosh, this is actually quite simple. So that looks like the command there. So I wonder if I edit properties. If we just go this is quite straightforward. I wonder if there's actually, this is actually live as well. Let's just make sure. Oh, it's live now. Cool. So I assume. Oh yeah, that is live. Cool. So if we grab that command, go properties. So we want to get that like that. Let me just see what the output is of that. Oh, it's already running. So that's not going to work because I've got it running here. Let's exit. Enter. Let's try that again. Here we go. Well, check it out. So if I'm using it in production, I probably don't want it sitting in my downloads in case it gets deleted, because it must create that automatically. I wonder what it actually does. Let's see if we can. Oh no, that's not going to work. So that must be that settings.json file. If we open with Notepad, we should be able to see in here. Apparently we can make it send an email. Haha. So we can actually set a notification in here. Wow. That is so cool. So here I was thinking this was actually going to be difficult, but it turns out it's quite easy. So the gist of the story is you run that, configure your certificate, and that's it. And then it automatically creates the task to renew the certificate, which outputs that. So I'm guessing if it does not renew the certificate, it would, if the certificate's due for renewal, it should renew. I wonder if I can change my time and make it spin it out to actually renew. Let's try. I don't know if it'll let me because it's an Azure VM, but it might. Change time. Nope. Set the date and time. Change the time. So let's see what happens if I set it to 2nd of the 2nd. So if I set it to the 1st of the 2nd, now I don't know if it uses this actual time here, or if it uses like the time on the internet, but let's see. Doesn't seem to have done anything. Let's try. I don't know what that is. Go away. Let's try. Remind me later. So yeah, this is just a blank VM that I did, so I don't know what the go is. If you have a question, just chuck it in the chat, but you know, if you don't, then don't put it in the chat. I don't really mind, but I can see it. So let's try and change the time to the 3rd of the 3rd. And it may be that it doesn't use the system time. It may pull the time from somewhere else. But let's see, because it's the 3rd of the 3rd apparently. Well, it looks like it's doing something. Ah, it does. Check that out. So it just renews the certificate. That's cool. Oh, remind me later. So I wonder if that certificate's valid then, because this has just generated a certificate. Let's see what the certificate date is, because if that just generates a random certificate, you could fake it and make it, let's see, F5 in here. That's weird. 3rd of the 9th. Oh, that's saying the 9th of the 3rd because we're in American time. That's the problem. Well, it's not a problem if you're in America, but I'm in Australia, so I'm used to reading the date the other way. But that's saying this certificate expires on the 3rd of the 9th. Let's see if it's valid from my... Actually, so this is my computer, not from the RDS, whatever you call it, Azure server. Certificate looks valid. Yep, so there's the same certificate. That's pretty cool. So it's valid from the 9th of the 12th to the 9th of the 3rd. Ah. Anyway, it's valid for 3 months. So that must have pulled the certificate date. Yeah, because that's 3 months, which would be 90 days. So that must be getting the certificate date. It doesn't generate the certificate date from this thing here. But if you do it with the wrong date, see, it says the next renewal is scheduled for that date, which is wrong. So let's go back and set the time back to normal. What's today's real date? The 9th of the 12th. That's looking better. And let's see what happens if I run that now. What it tells me for the renewal date, whether it just outputs whatever. Yeah, so that does mess up the renewal date if you mess around with the dates. But anyway, you can see that actually does try to renew it. So that's actually quite cool. This is easy. So I wonder if we go remove all that. Let's go create certificate full options and see what it gives us. 2. Testing. I'll come back to that, but I wonder if it's dumped a file in IIS. inetpub www root. It doesn't seem to. I wonder how it's verified it. So it looks like if that's the default, so it probably serves this verification by from its memory. Where I've been doing that. Create DNS records with ACME DNS. Wonder if we can link that into Cloudflare somehow. So guys, this is basically how you learn stuff. If you want to learn stuff, you just go and start poking around and seeing what actually happens. Read these documentation pages. Okay, ACME Cloudflare. So if I wanted to actually, because I use Cloudflare for my DNS, if I wanted to update it programmatically, I don't think it would be a very good idea because I would need to use this API token. But if I'm using an API token in a script that runs on a server, what happens if that server is compromised and then they have access into my API to my DNS? So that's probably a bad idea, so I don't even want to try that now. And I especially don't want to try that on a live stream where I'd show you all my API tokens, because we're not here to show our API tokens. We're here to show our IIS. Yeah, that's not good. So basically I would need to be running this on a server that is open to the internet. So if I wanted to do it on a server that is not open on the internet, I would not be able to do that. Yeah, so this makes sense. This is quite cool actually. So here I have been using the DNS method when I should have been using the HTTP method. Now I wonder, let's try this same thing with certify the web, because I haven't done it with that before. Made it auto renew because I've been using DNS every time. So let's just scrap all of my stuff that references this. We'll delete the cert as well. Remove, yep. And let's just whack this back onto bindings, because that'll be broken. Just whack that certificate on there. So let's see if we go, if we try and delete, because there'll be stuff in program data about this as well. Oh, let's download Certify the Web. Download. Where's the download thing for it? Oh, there it is. See down the bottom? If you move too fast, you miss out. Download the latest version. And in here, let's delete WIN-ACME. So now, in theory, current folder is in use. I think I might have these files opened. Let's get rid of them. That's better. What's going on here? Download. So I wonder if we can do the same thing, so it will auto renew with Certify the Web, because then we have a GUI tool to do it. But to be honest, the Certify the Web takes like a fair bit. I'd probably rather use this WIN-ACME, and it is on here. So this is something to be aware of as you're checking these sort of things, like who actually maintains this stuff. So WIN-ACME, Doesn't say much about it, like, you know, what's stopping. Let's say we use WIN-ACME. Who actually makes WIN-ACME? And what would be stopping WIN-ACME from pushing dodgy stuff to you? Which, I don't know. Certify the web? Well, same questions really, isn't it? Let's go FAQ and see who runs it. So the Internet Security Research Group, I trust them. Like, just because they're open source, they're doing this stuff, it's a registered non-profit, blah, blah, blah. If you want to find out more, you can find out more about them. So now, what we want to do is also find out who's WebFusion Ltd. WebPro Fusion. So we go software, open charge map. So I know a lot of people do use Certify the Web, like, you know, but just in general, it is good to find out who does what and why they do it. Is it going to be continually maintained? So it's open source. That's a good thing most of the time. Could also be a bad thing, but if it's maintained, it's a good thing. And I know a lot of people use it, which is good. And it's been vetted and stuff as well. Now, I thought I just ran that installer, but it doesn't seem to be running. And that's probably because I'm running this on a server with barely any resources whatsoever. So maybe if I close a couple of these windows, it may free up some of the resources. Set the time automatically. Okay. And exit that. It's still responding good, but I don't see anything opening. Oh, here we go. Huh, it did open. It just opened in the background. Alright. So let's see if I go new certificate. Registering a new contact. We're going to use LetsEncrypt. What is it? Use jcan.com. Now, just a hot tip, I don't even use that email anymore, so good luck spamming me with it. Yeah, I agree. Register the contact. Alright. So now let's run a new certificate. We're going to take over the default website. Let's grab the domain that I wanted to include. And then I believe in here, I think because we've got this open to the internet, this should just work. I believe. General options, somewhere in here. I reckon authorization. So HTTP, which is the one we used earlier. Leave it blank. So now because this is open, where my other one, it was not open, so I couldn't. So I've got another video where I was doing it and I couldn't actually do it via HTTP because I was testing it on a VM that's not open to the internet. So in theory, because this is open to the internet, that should just be able to load whatever there. Done. And now if I request a certificate, it should just get it and put it there. So that just worked. That's pretty cool. So now in IIS, that certificate should be, so you can see here if I refresh this page, it's got the certificate there. So So if I check the bindings, you can see there we've got our new certificate. How cool is that? That's actually really simple. But to be honest, I think I like the other one better, because what happens when this expires? I have to open it up and press request certificate? Or... So I may be able to just do this somewhere else as well. So yeah, that's that, isn't it? Pre-request tasks. So I can run a PowerShell script. Well, that's actually cool. So I've figured out why my auto renews do not work. So the issuing certificate authority, rewriting URL. So we do need port 80 set for the initial request. Cool. Well guys, there we go. I've learnt something. Have you? Hopefully you have. So then if we clicked renew all, it should just renew, which it'll skip, and we can see here. Well, that's quite cool. Anyway guys, like and subscribe if you like this. If you have any questions or anything, just chuck them down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Let's see, we had a big concurrent viewer rate of 2. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Anyway guys, see you next time.